Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Zach, and I am here with an album review for you guys. And we are continuing with the Asia discography, the Asia series of reviews. And so now we are on the fifth studio album from Asia and also the second studio album with John Payne on vocals, and that is Asia's album Aria, which I do think is a solid follow-up to Aqua. Definitely a step down from Aqua, in my opinion, but still quite a good album. Still did enjoy this album for what it was. Now, with this album, you can definitely tell that it's more heavily on the AOR sound, which I think that this album, it definitely works with what it has going for it and the sound that they're going for here. It has a darker sound to it than the sound on Aqua, which I don't mind. I think it's a solid album. Now, here's the other thing. I think among the John Payne Asia albums, I would maybe say that this is the weakest one. But with saying that, that's not saying a whole lot because I still think that Aria is a strong album. It's still a very good album with some very good songs on it. So just going over the track listing here, we've got Anytime, which is a solid album opener. Great vocals from John Payne, and I feel like with this album, you can tell that John Payne is really pushing himself vocally too. More sombering vocals from him on this album, and Anytime shows that right away in his vocals, and Anytime definitely has some great vocals from John Payne. And then we've got Are You Big Enough, which is definitely my least favorite on this album. And to be honest, maybe the worst Asia John Payne song, to be quite honest. I mean, I was never that crazy about this song. It's not straight up terrible or bad. It's just kind of meh and kind of cringe to an extent. I was never a big fan of Are You Big Enough. Definitely my least favorite on this album, but not straight up bad once again. And then we've got Desire, which not one of my favorites on this album, but I don't mind that song. It's not too bad. And then we've got Summer, which seems to be one of the fan favorites on this album. And yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites on this album. And if I'm not mistaken, that song was about John Payne's late father, if I'm not mistaken. But Summer, I do think, is a great song, though. It's definitely got some strong vocals from Payne. And then we've got Sad Situation. Again, not one of my favorites on this album, but it's a decent song, I'd say. And then we've got Don't Cut the Wire, Brother, which is actually one of the more underrated songs from this album. This song doesn't really get mentioned a whole lot in the Asia fan base, which you could honestly say that for the entirety of the John Payne era, but this song in particular, I feel, deserves more attention. Don't Cut the Wire. I've always liked this song. It's always been one of my favorites. You got a strong vocal delivery from John Payne in that track. And then we've got another one of my personal favorites on this album, Feels Like Love, which is more of a ballad-like song, and it's definitely a great song. This song really does show how great John Payne is as a singer, and his vocals really do shine in this song. It's very emotional sounding, and yeah, it's definitely great. It's another song for me that just is a standout on the album, and it never gets old. Definitely enjoy Feels Like Love, and then we've got Remembrance Day, which is a solid song too. Maybe another favorite of mine on the album, another strong vocal delivery from John Payne. And then we've got Enough's Enough, which is another pretty underrated track from this album. I do dig that one. And then Military Man, another one of the fan favorites. And yeah, probably one of my favorites on this album too. I do like Military Man, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was dedicated to, of course, those who have served. So yeah, Military Man, solid song. And then the album closes with the title track, Aria, which is a very short song, and yeah, it's pretty good, though. I still think it's a good song for what it is, despite the short length of the track. It's still quite good. So Aria by Asia, it's a good album. Again, maybe the weakest of the John Payne era, but that's not saying much because it's still quite a good album. There's some good stuff on here. Of course, you have Anytime, Summer, Feels Like Love, Don't Cut the Wire, and Military Man. I mean, those are definitely songs worth checking out, if nothing else. So Aria is a good album. It's not the best Asia album by any means, but again, it's still quite good. I'd give this album probably an 8 out of 10. So let me know what you think of Aria by Asia, the 5th studio album by Asia, if you have heard this one. So with that being said, thank you for watching, take care, and have a good one.